Okay, what's happening? Brian Edwards, MajorWager.com. Obviously, doing this video a little late and from a different facility. I hope the volume on the Alabama game is not a little too much. Hope you can hear me. We'll see how this I guess I'll have to review it before I post, but I hope it works out here. Okay, so let me get you caught up on what has happened so far today, and a lot has indeed happened. I want all of you Will Muschamp haters, many of you in Gator Nation, and many of you Gamecock fans, I don't want you to lose your intensity toward your hatred and your criticism toward Will Muschamp that you've had for years and years and years and years and years. Because with a third-string quarterback today, which I did the math on it a few years back, he basically coached, I want to say, I have to go back and look at my whole articles, about 40% of his games at UF were coached with a third-string quarterback playing QB. Well, today Hilinski gets hurt, and with a third-string quarterback, he wins outright at Georgia. I said it was the worst line of the week. I was in Gainesville celebrating that pimp slap last week, and I saw the opening line at 25, and I got down as big as I could get on South Carolina. Unfortunately, when the game drifted to 21, I kind of hedged a little bit with Georgia today, but I also had some plus 14.5 and plus 17.5 at nice plus odds for South Carolina. It was a small change, but yeah, nice winner for me. Huge. It cannot be overstated how ginormous of a victory that was for Will Muschamp, and it shakes up the SEC East. So South Carolina improves to 3-3 now. In fact, let's see. I know one of their losses was North Carolina non-conference. Let's see if South Carolina is even still in the mix, because it has the tiebreaker over Georgia. Let's see about they lost to Missouri and Bama. Okay. So they've got 2 L's in conference. But the bottom line is that, like I've said and never waver from, Will Muschamp is a quality coach, and proved it today. Masterful defensive game plan. Fromm had not been picked off once all year. He was picked off 3 times by the same dude, Monanu. Hat trick, brother. Congrats. And the thing is they could have won it. Was it the end of regulation or the end of the first overtime, and they missed a 33-yard field goal. But Muschamp goes for it on 4th and 1. They get it. And then when they get stopped on 3rd and goal, they make the field goal. And then Blankenship, one of the best kickers in the country for 3 years running, misses. And South Kakalaki wins outright at Georgia. Okay, look at... I mean, I wish I could claim I did it. I mean, South Carolina was one of my favorite picks of the week along with Florida, and that's another reason for this video. We'll get to the Gators here shortly against LSU in a few hours. And by the way, A&M leads 7-zip on Bama early. So Bama first quarterback's not looking good at all. But so, yeah, for South Carolina backers on the money line in the first quarter, plus 315 payout at Bovada. First half money line, thanks to the pick 6 by my man Monanu. I hope I'm probably incorrectly pronouncing it, but the pick 6 late second, they cashed plus 650 money line first half at Westgate SuperBook. They cashed 10-1 for the game. Money line Westgate SuperBook. They cashed plus 1150 at SBG Global offshore money line. Huge win for the Gamecocks, and all you South Carolina fans that were bitching about Spurrier and bitching about Muschamp, you know what? You should be happy. Be happy with what you got, because you got a good coach. Okay, other early scores. Clemson's all over the semis early, 14-0. Michigan jumped out to a big lead on Illinois, but Illinois actually rallied and cut it to 3. Early 4th, Michigan wins but does not cover. Indiana, they cover against Rutgers, 35 bagel. Temple wins outright as a home dog to Memphis. Texas loses but covers in backdoor fashion in the last 2 minutes. Tom Herman improves to 6-0 against the spread as a double-digit underdog in his career, 4 outright wins. So I cash with Texas. I cash with South Kakalaki. Minnesota, Nebraska tonight. My sources tell me Adrian Martinez will not start. And it's like Lanitor is going to get the nod in Minneapolis at Minnesota. Let me get to their page. What did I say? Laniker? Way off. It's going to be Noah Federal. My Nebraska sources tell me Adrian Martinez will not go tonight for the Cornhuskers. Duke snaps an 0-9 against the spread slide as a favorite against ACC competition. If you got it at minus 17.5, they win 41-23. And by the way, I'm at La Playa on 30A. Shout out to my boy Mario. All you 30A visitors, come get you some grub at La Playa. My boys from Eastern Michigan up 17-14, early third. Ooh, Leach and the Cougars up 10-zip on Arizona State. I leaned Arizona State, did not take it. Wow, I'm just seeing this line movement as Washington State became the favorite today and actually closed at 2, even 2.5 at Caesars. Other finals from earlier. Tennessee and Jeremy Pruitt with a 20-10 victory over Mississippi State. So I think that snaps a SEC West losing streak for the Vols of about 15 to 16 games, if I'm not mistaken. Interception, Clemson, and they're getting down on the Noles right now, and you know that I love that. Akron, the only winless team for our purposes left in America, down 7-zip late first to Kent State, catching 14. I think about that. I think it does it for the finals early. So let's talk Florida LSU. Tiger Stadium tonight. Most books still going with LSU around 13.5. As I look at my live odds, actually most books are 14 right now. The total 55. On the money line, you can get the Gators at about plus 425 at the South Point. And let's see where the Westgate's got it at. Wow, Westgate plus 450 on the Mighties. Vandy out to a 7-0 lead. Wisconsin out to a 7-0 lead. All right, back to Gators, LSU. So look, Florida as an underdog under Dan Mullen, 4-1 both straight up and against the spread. So this will be their 6th underdog spot since Dan Mullen took over. The line being 14. LSU has beaten Florida by double digits only twice since 2003. And remember, this is the annual crossover game from SEC West to SEC East. So they've beaten them by double digits twice only since 03. Once by 11, 17-6. The 4-win year for Florida when they lost to Georgia Southern. Okay, the only time they beat them by more than what the spread is tonight in the last, 15 meetings is in 2011, Muschamp's first year. Florida was 5-0 going into the Bama game at home. They hit a bomb from John Brantley to Andre DeBose on the opening play of the game to lead 7-0. Should have led 14-3. Chris Randy stepped out of bounds like a dummy on what it would have been an easy touchdown. Brantley ends up getting hurt. Driscoll gets hurt. Jacoby Brissett, and by the way, shout out to Jacoby, big win at KC last week for the Colts. But Jacoby had never taken a snap before, was a true freshman. LSU was number 1 and undefeated. Florida goes in there, 3rd-string quarterback, and they get smashed. That's the only time ever, not ever, only time since 03 that LSU has pimp-slapped Florida and won by more than 11 in the last 15 meetings. So there's that. All right. Is the spot tough for Florida coming off the Auburn game? Sure. But I think the 14-point line is built into that. Terrace Marshall is not going to play for LSU. Jabari Zuniga, Florida's best pass rusher, arguably with Jonathan Greenard, is going to play tonight. Has not played since the third quarter of the Kentucky game when he sprained his ankle. So Florida's defense should be better tonight, better with Zuniga back. Now, granted, they're playing a much better offense. Everybody knows that. Look, I'm super high on LSU in general. I've had them ranked third in my power rankings before they won at Texas. And, all right, a couple other factoids. All right, the over's 4-1 overall for the Tigers, 2-1 in their home games. Their games are averaging combined scores of 74.4 points per game. The under is 5-1 overall for Florida, but the over hit in its lone road assignment at Kentucky. Trask undefeated as a starter and had not made a start since his freshman year of high school. Remember, he was the backup for Houston star QB Derek King while he was in high school. Let's see if we get any quick tidbits. Most of these games are gone from my notes here that I'm looking at. Oh, I will tell you, USC Notre Dame tonight as a road underdog. Clay Helton, an abysmal 1-9 against the spread in 10 games as a road underdog. I mentioned how Martinez is not going to play for Nebraska. I like Kentucky tonight, not as much as I like Florida or South Carolina by any means, but I do like Kentucky tonight. The Razorbacks are 0-4 against the spread as road underdogs under Chad Morris. I forget if the Old Dominion game is gone, but the under is 5-0 in their games this year as they're playing Marshall. That total was 47 at last look. What else can I fit in here now? Big win for the Canes last night. Big win for Oregon last night. Colorado State covered for me. That was my only winner. Laviska Shenault got upgraded to probable at the last minute, which made me take the over, which came up short. Not on account of Oregon. That's for sure. I'm Brian Edwards, MajorWager.com. I hope this video comes out okay. I hope the volume on the TVs in the background wasn't too bad. And congratulations to my boy, Boom. That being Will Muschamp, the signature victory of his South Carolina tenure that should get him off the hot seat. We'll just have to hope Hilinski's okay moving forward. Again, Brian Edwards, MajorWager.com. Over now.